Well, I'm Ray, and I'm a communist.
What do you think about the embargo ending and Americans being here a lot more?
Well, I'm naive. I actually thought with Obama being elected, it'd open a new dawn, yeah, and this stupid embargo, which is hurting the American economy, and certainly it hurts the Cuban economy because it's so vicious in so many respects, and so undemocratic, really. It's without doubt capitalism is a very efficient system in relation to production, distribution, exchange, and trading that is totally corrupt. And we're seeing with the bankers. They are a joke. How the so-called democratic system works in relation to shareholders, and they let these bankers, actually screw them to the wall, with money which is only dreamt of, which is even so immoral. It's not. First of all, Cuba, though it's the Communist Party is a major dominant force in the direction of the economy and the country. It's not a communist country. Anybody who studied Marxism realised or Leninism, you have to go through socialism before you get to communism.
What would happen if the embargo ended? Would things change in Cuba? Would it become more capitalist?
No, I don't think so. I think it'd just make more openings for American companies. Good-intentioned investors and Americans who would like to come and do a bit of business here, and there are some good Americans, don't get me wrong. The United States as an administration, I think, is totally corrupt, and it's a political elite, which to me, it leaves me... they're such cold-blooded killers in some respects.
Here?
No, not here. I'm talking about the government in the United States. Perhaps I shouldn't really say that. But, the wars of intervention and the mass killing in what we see in Iraq and Afghanistan, But I think there are room for good-intentioned Americans to work with Cuban enterprises, which is going to benefit the standard of life of Cubans. And that's what I want to see. I think most Cubans live in fairly poor conditions, but not as bad as other countries in the Caribbean. There's a lot of poor people who are far worse than anything you'll find in Cuba. In Cuba, maybe people live haven't got a very high standard of living, but they've got a good standard of living. China's going to be the great investor in Cuba and the rest of the world, if you like, especially Latin America. I think China's going to invest a number of $1 billion here in nickel mining and hotels, tourism, and really, it's just stupid. There's a lot of Americans who want a little bit of that action, and it will benefit Americans to come and see, that Cuban society does work. Their kids are the most adjusted kids in the world. They've got no drug problem as such, got no violence on the streets. It's probably, Havana's one of the safest cities in the world to visit. But as Fidel said in the past, the wealth in Cuba resides in their people and their intellectual capacity.